What up, Duke? What up, Roasters? Oh, baby, what a day, what a day, what a day as the Warriors lose to the Pistons. We'll get back into basketball with Anthony Slater in just moments as we say good morning to everybody out there getting off their graveyard shift, cops, teachers, students. If everybody's back in school, I know high school hoop season is in full swing, and Reardon lost a big-time player. How about that? Reardon lost a big-time player to a prep school in Nevada.
Yeah, Vegas.
Not good.
No, not good, but they're pretty deep, so.
Yeah, they got a squad. They definitely have a squad.
I believe they beat SI last night.
Did they?
It was 63-52. Maybe I had it backwards, but I thought that they beat SI. I'm going to double-check that.
All right. Let's get
I know the girls' game got canceled because my niece
because of the rain.
Yeah,
a lot of
it was down at the
yeah.
bottom there. Let me see.
Remember El Nino? Back in the day?
It happens I don't know,
We
every
were
10 to
taking
15 years.
We were taking Muni through El Nino.
Last night, varsity boys basketball final, Archbishop Reardon 63, St. Ignatius 52.
Tough one for the Wildcats.
Yes.
Tough one for the Wildcats.
You were saying about Muni during...
El Nino, like we were going to high school just taking Muni. They didn't cancel any days during the rain.
No, I begged for canceled days all the time. That never happened.
Yeah, well, we just wanted to sit out of school. That's why.
I was truing a lot.
Yeah, you wanted to watch Jerry Springer at 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, Family Feud, Springer, the whole thing.
You were one of those guys.
Jerry. If you didn't watch Jerry Springer, I mean, like, who are you? Come on, of course you did. Don't lie.
And the security guard, Steve.
What?
Lori, you are not the father.
Oh,
so I
Maury
just saw a
Povich.
girl on either Twitter or Instagram, TikTok. They're like, she was a child on the you are the father, you're not the father, and she's now like 18.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's just say life's not going great for her right now.
Oh, that's not good. It's not
on
good.
the internet.
It's not good.
I don't think anyone that's featured on that show life is going good to them.
That's so too.
My wife watches Love. Is it Love After Lockup or Love and Lockup? Whatever it is. That 60 Day Fiance.
Yeah,
Stop lying.
I don't watch any of that
Pinocchio.
stuff. I watch sports. All right. I can't even watch Star Wars. I'm trying to get through Atlanta season 4. Just got through The Best Man. I do not watch that crap. I guarantee you that. You go call Anna Novikov right now. Ask her what I watch.
What is Anthony Slater watching?
He's not watching 60 Day Fiance. He's watching basketball.
He watches a little bit of whatever his significant other is watching because he's a good, loving significant other.
95.7 The Game Insider. Anthony Slater
one.
on the line right now. Warriors lose to the Pistons. What, Anthony, you're not watching 60 Day Fiance or 90 Day Fiance or whatever that stuff is.
I'm not watching that. I'm watching some good TV. The White Lotus, you guys see
Oh, I loved
I heard
it.
White Lotus. Don't
Loved
say anything,
it.
Shatsky. He likes to spoil things. That's next on my list. What else are you watching?
If you want me to go down the Shasky road that he was trying to do Real Housewives is something that I'm kind of dragged into it.
Thank you. What's your favorite one then? Is it Atlanta, New York, Orange County? What's your go-to?
The only one that mildly interests me is Potomac, to be honest. The other ones, I'm just like, I'm snoozing. I got the NBA app on my phone. I'm really watching like Pistons, Magic.
That's why he's my guy. That's why this is my guy right
Anthony,
here.
See, here's the thing. Like when my wife's watching those things, I like to chime in and make it so annoying that she has to leave the room and go somewhere else to watch.
Oh, you're
the show.
that guy.
I'm like Bill Burr.
So you want to annoy people? Who wants to annoy their significant other?
Well,
that's not smart.
Because the people in the show are horrible people.
They are.
And I can't stop watching.
I just don't watch it, Anthony. I just go to I do what you do. I have my apps on the phone, whether it's the DirecTV stream or the NBA app or baseball app, and I watch it.
League Pass. Gotta watch Franz Wagner.
Hey, you do. Orlando's good. Hey, man, they play tough. Orlando's tough. They're coming in Saturday.
It's good basketball.
Thank you.
Anything can happen in the league. You see what the Thunder did to the Celtics?
Wow, exactly.
2 nights ago.
152 points?
Yeah, League Pass, baby. Come on, League Pass. Shasky, let's go. Stop watching that crap TV.
What about last night's kind of crappy game with the Warriors and the Pistons? It felt like they really missed some size, whether it's Kuminga athletically or James Wiseman. It just they didn't really have much to answer Detroit last night.
How about Andrew Wiggins? Wouldn't mind seeing him at some point, right?
What's going on there? Like what for people like I know he had the abductor injury and then he got sick. Is that what's been happening?
Yeah, he got sick. I think Bob Myers went on your station yesterday and kind of hinted at the fact. I mean, he's got a couple kids and this is flu season. And
that makes sense.
Season. So he had come back and like practiced a little bit, but then he had like left the team again for a couple of days. But he was on the bench last night. They're going to have a practice tomorrow. It's really their first practice in a while. And we'll see on Saturday. I would not be surprised to see Andrew Wiggins Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be a good deal for the Golden State Warriors. But Jonathan Kuminga and before we get to the game last night, and Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson and all that stuff, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga. Should we be concerned about Kuminga and Wiseman there? They're going to be reevaluated in a week, and we've been seeing J.K. walk around with that walking boot. We know Wiseman sprained that ankle in a 3-on-3 scrimmage that involved Andrew Wiggins. What is going on with them? Should we be concerned about these two youngsters?
Yeah, I don't know about concerned. I mean, Wiseman, it's an ankle sprain, right? Ankle sprains take various amounts of time depending on how bad you rolled it. He's going to be out, at least like 5 games or so, so it's not a good one, but he'll be back. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back during that road trip. Kuminga, from what I understand, his foot swelled up, foot sprained. They don't think it's long-term, bad or whatever. They just needed to respond to treatment. Again, I mean, I'd expect to see him at some point during the road trip, but yeah, he is still kind of in a walking boot as they treat the foot. So bad timing really for both of them, particularly Wiseman, because it's like no JaMychal Green right now, no Wiggins right now. Like this is when those two should be in feature roles, right?
Yeah.
They're playing
the
better,
guys ahead
too.
of them out.
What did you make of the Jordan Poole thing? And I'll let you get in, but like B and I have been kicking it around. I mean, he's obviously a younger player, and I going back in time to Steph Curry's first real playoff run, 2012, 2013. He like jumped up in points, but the assist to turnover ratio wasn't great. He turned the ball over a lot. He had the ball in his hands a lot more. He was running the full team. Like Poole's right on par, and I'm comparing anyone to Steph's unfair, but like right on par in terms of efficiency in a lot of areas to where Steph was back then, and he's even younger. These late game situations, it's part of the maturation process for me. I mean, it's not great, but like I'm not losing my mind using him as the scapegoat, but where are you at with Jordan Poole right now?
Yeah, to me, the worst Jordan Poole games over the last couple of years are the unaggressive Jordan Poole games.
Yes.
The games where particularly remember when he got bumped to the bench last season when Klay Thompson came back, and it was like, where is he? He took 4 shots tonight. Like they need his juice off the bench. They need his creation and playmaking, and it sinks to the background. And he's not turning the ball over those nights because he's not attempting to do anything, basically. Well, right now is like the complete opposite of that. He's like overburdened right now with like what he needs to do for this team with no Steph, no Wiggins. Still an older Klay Thompson. Klay's obviously been good the last couple of games, but somebody's got to take somebody off the dribble for the Warriors at times. And like they all kind of turn to Jordan Poole, and it's like, you're the one out here who can take people off the dribble. And that, leads clearly, like to me, this just shows like if obviously he re-signed with the Warriors and the plan is for him to be with the Warriors long term, but this shows like if he did sign an offer sheet with the Spurs and had gone to the Spurs and had like gotten his team in a sense, he'd be a very high turnover, high usage guy who has big nights, who has inefficient nights, who has kind of this wild fluctuating, just production level. But what Klay said last night, what Steve said last night isn't wrong. Like they're 6-4 since Steph went down, which is like a godsend for them.
Yes.
I can't believe they're 6-4 since Steph went down. And if they don't have what he's done offensively, which is 43-point night, 41-point night, 36-point night, 24-point night, like they're 3-7, maybe 2-8. So he's had really bad moments late in games. Some of his shot selection has been poor. I mean, the quick pull threes, he had another bad one last night.
Yeah, like a logo 3 yesterday.
Yeah. It's like heat checks when you're not hot, basically. Like he's making questionable decisions, and then obviously sometimes he just gets so antsy dribble-wise. He like trips himself, or he's dribbling off his foot. Like it's stuff you don't see that often in the league. Like that, those are his flaws, but his strengths are also stuff that nobody else on the Warriors can do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 95-7 the game. Insider Anthony Slater breaking out the Warriors here with Jordan Poole, and I agree. Like, look, number one, when Steph gets back, Steph's going to have the ball, or Draymond Green's going to have the ball, so he's not going to be able. So Jordan Poole will not be tasked with being responsible for setting up the offense to try to take his man off the dribble. But if he does, I always believe these are good experiences this point of the season to get ready for April and May. He's still learning in his 4th year on how to orchestrate a team and run a team. And I think what you said there was well said, Anthony, about Jordan Poole trying to do too much with this team. Just slow down. You don't have to dribble all the time. Straight line drives, and I think he'll be fine. But one thing that has happened on his road trip is Klay Thompson's fine now, right? Klay Thompson seems like he's back, especially during this homestand where he's just hitting buckets after buckets after buckets. And even defensively, it looks like he's getting after it, Anthony.
Yeah, he said last night he feels incredible physically right now.
Right.
And I was going into the game last night, I'm thinking, hey, he played the double overtime game. What, he played like 46 minutes or something against Atlanta, only one day off. I just kind of thought he might have like a inefficient, slower night because of the usage. And he wasn't incredible efficiency wise, but he got really hot late in a game where, again, he's playing another 30-something minutes. So I think these are all good signs physically of not his body's response level to big minutes, but also that he just still has these type of nights in his tank. He needed to have a few of these during this non-step streak. And even defensively, he's playing physical. Bogdanovich got him a couple times last night, but I just like the energy and the I guess lack of fatigue, I guess you saw from him on both ends, and it's a good sign. And what I would say is, this schedule that they've had lately, which is, at least a day off between games, sometimes 2 days off between games, it's more reminiscent of the playoffs, and I think it's showing you why Klay, even last playoffs, was better more consistently than maybe he has been during the regular season. It just sets up better for veterans when you can lock in. You can always get a rest day. He's sitting at home a lot. Travel's much lighter in the playoffs. So you got to like what he's done.
All right, let's get into something fun here. I want to rat-a-tat-tat these. Draymond Green, the first tech last night.
Well, just my take on it?
Yeah.
He's talking to the ref. It's soft a little bit from the referee, I thought. But, you're always at risk when you're chatting with the refs, and he always is.
Well, what about the second one with him and Isaiah Stewart and him not wanting any part of Isaiah Stewart?
You're at risk because of the first tech for that double T. So, that's, to me, the first tech is where he's at fault. I didn't like this. I hate double Ts in general.
I hate them.
Double Ts are weak.
Yeah. And, by the way, players hate them, too. I can remember Kevin Durant back in the day when he was here just moaning about, why is double tech exist? You can't just chat with each other out there.
Right.
Yeah. What about Draymond saying, and we'll get to the other part, but what about Draymond saying that his podcast is back? And then, also saying that on the podcast that he was going to have an episode drop the day of the Jordan Poole punch, but didn't like the way it sounded, his tone, if you will.
Yeah, I knew that. I think a lot of people kind of knew that had happened and that he had not published that podcast. And I think that's part of the reason you didn't hear his podcast. For how long has it been? Jeez, what was the day count?
Do you think the Warriors told him not to put out a podcast till a certain date? Because that was a hypothesis by somebody.
Yeah, well, I would say this. I don't think they told him he couldn't. That's just not how you operate with Draymond Green. You don't just demand he do stuff. But I think once, remember obviously you guys remember the TNT documentary he had on opening night.
Oh yeah, they were hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the way that landed, I think, was an indication to him to throttle it back.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing. You can't be tone deaf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
you know what the situation
release the tapes. It's like when Machiavelli passed away, and we got 8 different Machiavelli tapes. I want to hear 4 years from now the podcast from Draymond Green that he was gonna put out.
Yeah, well, you may get that. You still may get
that. It's like the lost tapes.
You still may get that. Do you really want to listen to it?
Not really, but it's kind of funny to say out loud.
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably wait till he signs his next contract.
Right.
Yes. All right, here's the funner question. Me and Bonte were kicking this around. Top 5 all-time, any sport, guys you don't want to mess with, because Isaiah Stewart's a guy I wouldn't want to mess with. So who's on your top 5 all-time guys you don't want to mess with, any sport, any era?
Ron Artest.
Yep.
Meta World Peace.
Yep.
Gosh. Ray Lewis.
2.
Up there.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a baseball one.
Joey Albert Bell.
Albert Bell, that's a good one. I like that. Let's see. Mike Tyson.
Ooh, Tyson's a great one.
Be up there. Let me try to think of another basketball one.
Who in the league right now?
I mean, Stewart's obviously, he remember when he went after LeBron?
Oh, yeah.
Stewart's no joke. Stewart's no joke.
Yeah. Steven Adams.
Steven Adams
Adams
is
a good one.
Let me get back to something real quick. You discussed Draymond Green and a new contract. What do you think happens this offseason? Because Draymond Green is playing some excellent basketball right now, and I'm not sure how many players are playing better defense than Draymond Green right now. What do you think about him and the contract situation moving forward here with the Warriors?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of it is dependent on like how everything ends this season, how the playoffs look, how they feel, the future outlook is. Do they look older in the playoffs? Do they look unready, to continue to compete for championships? Or do they go and win another title? Do they go lose in Game 6 to the Bucks where it's like, run it back, like this core could still win? Because I think he's shown throughout this season that like they can't win without him. Mm-hmm. And he has a player option for next year, so he has more control than most people probably realize. $27 million player option for next season. So it's unsettled even when you talk to people behind the scenes, it's like, we'll see. There's not like some definitive, this is definitely going to happen. Right. And the one thing is as it's looking a lot better for him than it did a couple months ago. I'll say that.
Right.
With what he's proven and his value lately.
No doubt. Anthony, good stuff as always. Saturday night, the Orlando Magic come to town. A little revenge tour for the Golden State Warriors, although the Pistons do get the season sweep for the first time since 08-09. But Orlando coming in. Paulo Banchero, that'd be a lot of fun. And we'll see you then, Anthony. Thanks for always spending some time with us.
Little bowl. They start 7 guys who are 6.
Is Bobo playing? He didn't play last night against OKC. I know they got some weird suspensions going on in Orlando.
Yeah, half their team's having to serve these mini suspensions, but he'll probably be there Saturday.
Bobo's nice, man. I like me some Bobo. Anthony, good stuff, man.
All right, fellas.
All right, Anthony Slater, 95.7 The Game.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, turn your mic on, man. You like talking, no mic. Pulling a Ray Rattle.